It is now time for Inside Out as we welcome in SNY NBA insider Ian Begley. And Ian, the Knicks were non-competitive for more than a half, down by 19 in the third. What was the key to that 13-0 run in the third that helped the Knicks get back into the game?
Well, a big part of it was OG Anunoby. Eamon, he scored or assisted on 9 of those 13 points. He was great defensively, and really just great defensively in the second half of this game overall. Tom Thibodeau first switching Anunoby onto Bam Adebayo. That made a difference, and then Anunoby was active on the perimeter as well, getting steals. I think he had 3 blocks, 2 steals, and 5 assists in this game. So one of his best games as a Knick, and the Knicks needed every part of that to scratch out this win in Miami.
Yeah, no doubt Anunoby making impacts all over the court in this one. All right, Jalen Brunson led the way with 31, including 16 in the fourth quarter and overtime. Ian, have we run out of ways to describe how clutch Brunson has become?
We might have, Eamon, and we're going to have to go to the thesaurus for more because he's been fantastic. I think he's shooting over 60% from the field on around 40 attempts in the clutch, which is 5 minutes less than a game within 5 points. He's been phenomenal. Shooting 50% from 3, knocking down 80% of his free throws, and the Knicks have a very good record in these clutch games, and the number one reason is Jalen Brunson, his ability to execute. He also dishes the ball in these situations, and what he says is he's not looking to score every time. He's looking to do whatever the game gives him, and it just so happens that he's making phenomenal decisions down in the clutch of these games. You saw it again in Memphis. You saw it in Miami this weekend, and it's been that way for most of the year with Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Knicks now 2-0 with Mitchell Robinson back in the lineup. Ian, what have you seen from him in those 2 games?
Yeah, it's early, right, with Mitch, but I think you saw him make a couple plays late in Memphis and then in Miami, diving on the floor for a loose ball, getting an offensive rebound that leads to a three-pointer. So, you're seeing bits and pieces of the Mitchell Robinson that Knicks fans of the Knicks got used to before he got hurt last season. And so what the Knicks can do here with Mitchell Robinson is they could put him at the 5 with Karl Towns at the 4. Haven't seen a ton of that yet. I think you'll see more of that. He does a great job in the pick and roll. And what you've seen so far in these 2 games is Mitchell Robinson getting minutes and Precious Achiuwa being out of the rotation. So maybe that's something that continues here, something to keep an eye on. But certainly Mitchell Robinson, if you're the Knicks, you hope he's just scratching the surface here as you get down to the last few weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, certainly expect more out of him as he gets more used to playing and gets his wind here. All right, Ian Begley, thanks for joining us here on Honda Sports Night. For more on the Knicks, we welcome in John Jastremski and Chris Lopresti. And JJ, I know you're partial to the win over the Nuggets in Denver, but was Sunday the Knicks' best win of the year?
I'm not going to say it was their best win of the year. I'm going to say it was their most entertaining win of the year because they looked like a team to start this game that looked like they spent Saturday night on South Beach. I mean, let's be honest. They're down 18 to 19 points. They're getting absolutely shellacked. They're getting beat to every loose ball. And that run in the third quarter obviously changed the tone and the narrative. They had a monster response in the fourth quarter. How about Deuce McBride stepping in and playing big minutes over Mikal Bridges? Anunoby was great. And then, of course, Jalen Brunson brings you home. So I think Miami is clearly not the team they've been in years past, so I can't say it's the best win of the year. But when you're down 19 in the third quarter, most teams in the NBA say, sayonara, this is not our night. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you Tuesday. That's not the DNA of this Knicks team. Incredibly resilient, and you saw that again on Sunday.
Yeah, you love the fight. You love the bounce back. How about best response of the season? I'll go with that. I don't know about best win. I like a little bit more of a complete game, a complete effort where you've got it going both first half and second half, obviously. So, look, they've had a couple of real nice home wins this year where they blew out some quality teams. You know, the Bucks aren't what they once were, but they put up a $140 on them. They blew out the Grizzlies at home in January. You referenced the Denver, not just on the road, but at home as well. They had Denver's number this year. So I can point to some other games, but grabbing one from the jaws of defeat, second half comeback on the road is certainly a nice response.
What is this, the Oscars? You guys are making up your own categories?
That's
entertaining,
yeah.
best response?
I'm not going to say best, most entertaining.
Okay, all right. A week ago, we were lamenting the Knicks' lost weekend against the Celtics and the Cavs, and that's not going away. But, Chris, what have we learned about this team in the 3 games since?
I think just that there's not going to be a letdown, and they're not going to be too affected by the fact that they really were essentially non-competitive in those 2 games against those upper echelon teams, which has been a theme we've talked about throughout much of this year. So good to get back into the win column, put together a winning streak, and solidify where they are, both in the Eastern Conference and I think in the league. I think we're further enough along in the season now, even though they are just getting fully healthy with Mitchell Robinson back, to know where they stack up. Come playoff time, we can worry about matchup, opponent, a playoff series, and whether or not they have a fighting chance. But I think we have a clear view right now of where they stack up in the NBA.
Bingo. They're one of the best teams in the league. Now, they are a notch below the big three, and I think we've seen that this year. But you see all sorts of fight, resilience, toughness, hallmarks of the team over the last 2 years. That hasn't changed. Look, there was a time when the Knicks were a doormat. They were an embarrassing franchise. They're staring back-to-back 50-win seasons in the face. That speaks to the culture they have, from Leon Rose to Tom Thibodeau to Jalen Brunson to everybody in that Knick locker room. It's a winning vibe. It's a winning culture. And you saw that in Memphis and in Miami on Sunday.
And they're entertaining.
Very entertaining.